Alright, hello once again. This is Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College. And as part of the Rankin Technical College AWD, or Application and Website Development program for the AWD1000 Web Development Technologies class, I've been kind of building a fictitious gym website from scratch. And what I've done so far is I've gone over all the preliminary stuff. In other words, I've talked about everything that goes in the head section and added most of the stuff that I need. Alright. And now it's time to go on and start actually working in the body where I'll see some results. So, I think I've shown this before. It's been a bit. But just to be sure, this is our home page right here. I can make it a little bigger. It doesn't matter. But you can see it. And I kind of am breaking it down into a few different parts. Part I'm going to work on right now is right here. Alright? It's this grayish part right here. And what does that have in it? Well, it has, as I mentioned, there actually is a Jacked and Jilled place. And I grabbed their logo. Alright, so I've got that there. I've got the menu separated into halves. Here is the home and the about pages. Here are the BMI and the contact pages. This is just Get Jacked or Jill, just something I made up. So we're going to do that right now, and then we'll move into the next part. All right, and maybe we'll even do the footer today. We'll see how we are with time constraints. All right, but if I run this right now, literally what comes up here is this, because I have nothing there right now. So I'm going to close that and get back into my header section. I have broken my header section down, in case you cared, into a left, a center, and a right portion. There are plenty of ways you can do this. You know, I want to mention to you two different things. First, I have told people that in many ways I kind of liken creating a website from scratch to basically an artist being behind an empty easel. Alright, and being able to create whatever they want. Well, the other thing is there's so many different ways this could be done. That I'm breaking this into three parts. By no means did we have to do that. It's just something I decided to do. And again, I have mentioned to students in the past, it's kind of like you come into a class that you're taking. Let's say that you're taking a class, not for a college credit, but it's just, let's say it's a class in, I know that my sister-in-law and my niece took a class that was called Paint and Wine. And they would have wine, and yet they would learn paint and some artistry. Well, the point is, let's suppose that it was that first class, and that the person there came in, and when they came in, let's say they came in with something that looked like this. Alright, so let's say they had, we'll use that one. So you come in, and you show people this bowl of fruit, and you ask them to paint it. Now, some people will take that literally and paint everything you see there. Other people might look at that and the orange might stand out to them, or the apple, or the pear, etc. All right? So all I'm saying is this is the way I decided to do this. I am by no means saying, oh yeah, this is the way I decided to do it and this is the best way. I would never say that. I'm saying that this is a way of doing it and it's the way I decided to do it. So, in my header section here, I also said that I'm going to give this an ID, and this is my main header. Am I going to use that? We'll see as we go on. Alright, so inside of here, first thing I did was to create a div, and I gave this an ID, I think I gave it a class in case I wanted to use it later, of left header. Alright, and what's in that left header? You already heard this. What's in the left header is basically this. Left header, center header, right header. All right. So I'm going to start with an unordered list. And as you know, an unordered list contains list items. All right, so I'm going to have a list item in here. And what am I going to put in here? Well, this is going to be for home. I'm already at home, so I don't have to move anywhere. I'm going to have the class set equal to what I'm going to call active. You'll see that in a minute. Oops. And that's going to be home. All right. So we've got that. I'm going to just take that and I'm going to copy it. I don't want this class to be active. We'll only have one class active at a time. But this second one will be about. All right. And eventually I'll want the about here to go to about.html. But I haven't written that yet. So let's save this. All right. And let's open it up in our live server. And it sure doesn't look like much. Okay, that's fine. I think what we'll do is we'll write this whole thing because there's not that much to it. And then we'll come back and add some CSS. All right. So I just put in my left header. Well, let's very quickly, if you remember when I just ran this, it looked like this, right? Home and about. Well, the good thing is home and about. So I do have those two things in there. So that's good. All right. Now I'm going to do my middle section, and it looks like I need this, which has got my logo, and I need this writing right here. All right. So I'll do that. I got my div, class equal middle header. Want my ending div. Okay. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put in the logo, but I want the logo to be clickable. So in other words, if I'm on the About page and I click the logo, I want to go back to the home page. You quite often find that on websites, that regardless of what page you're on, you'll make the logo clickable so you can get back to the home page at any time. And that's what I'm doing right here. So I've already got an images folder. Now, when you look at it, not much in there, and not the files I want in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my completed version, all right, which has got all the images I think that I'll need. And I'm going to grab them. Now, I want to go back into my desktop. And my jacked and jilled images. I don't know what these two images are doing there, but I'm just going to get rid of them. And I'm going to paste those images in. The one I want is right here. It's the logo. You'll notice it's 100 by 100. I went in and manually resized it. So now, when I say images slash, I'll try it again. Images slash, oh, that's interesting. Well, let's see if we find logo.jpg. Okay, maybe I put it in the wrong place, but we'll look. And that image, I'll give it alternative text. So again, for people who have a browser for the blind, they'll hear the word logo, and if for some reason it can't find that, it's going to put a little X, but it'll have the word logo there, and both the width and the height are equal to 100. All right, so I now have that. And the other thing that I wanted to put in there, I'm just going to put it in as a paragraph tag and have it say get jacked or chilled. All right, so let's see what we have now. All right, well, there's our logo, there's our get jacked or chilled, so there's our left header, there's our center header. The reason it's not moved over is because we have not yet put in any CSS. Let's put in the right stuff, and after we do that, we'll probably stop for this part of it. So the right is very similar to the left, so I'm going to grab this left right here, right there, and I'm going to paste that in. Change the name to right header. All right, no active class, but I want those two things there to say BMI, we'll go over all that stuff later, and contact. Oops, that did not look right. So let's try that again. BMI, and contact. So let's look again. So we now have our left header, our center header, and our right header. All right, we have now finished the header portion. Okay, I'm going to do one more thing just because I'm still a little bit ahead of where I thought I would be right now, and that is close a couple of these. I'm going to go back and I'm going to jump down to the very bottom, and in my footer I'm going to give that an ID of main footer, and we'll put a P tag in here, and I'm putting my own disclaimer in here. All right, it says not affiliated with the real jacked and jilled. All right, and I just don't want this to run off the screen, so now I'm going to add what's called an HTML entity. I want the copyright symbol to go in here. All right, and this should say see our, this is going to be for a policy, privacy thing. And I just looked up a mythical type of privacy policy online. And it looks like I spelled policy, privacy, and policy wrong. Right. And we'll just put here privacy policy. All right, I'm going to save and I'm going to run this one more time. So here is my left header, my center header, my right header, and my footer. Seems like a good place to stop, and when I come back, I'm going to start playing around or adding things to my CSS or cascading style sheet file. So I'll be back with that shortly.